Hello everybody, today we will cook and compare the most popular noodles in China, the most popular noodles in Korea, and the most popular noodles in Japan. Let's find out which of these three Asian countries has the most delicious noodles. Let's start with the most popular Japanese noodles, yakisoba with chicken. We have a fairly small set of products here. The most important thing is the noodles. This is called soba. We open it up. As you can see, it has a brown color, and all of this is because it is made of buckwheat flour. So we're going to put on some water to heat up, and already immerse the noodles in the boiling water. Let's heat it up a little bit, and wait for 3 minutes, as indicated on the package. The cooking time of the noodles is very important. You digest it a little bit, and it'll get really ugly. If you don't, it'll be too firm. So it's time to take the noodles off the stove. And drain it through a colander. Now the noodles are really hot, and to stop cooking them, you need to pour some cold water over them urgently. That's it, let's move on to the chicken now. We're gonna use some chicken thighs. Just cut them into small pieces. All right, now some bell pepper. You need to cut off the flesh from it. Then cut it into strips. Now for the carrot. We'll quickly peel it. We cut it in half and chop it into slices. We need to turn them into like little blocks. Next, Peking cabbage. Let's tear off a couple of leaves. We will only use the green part. We can cut them into strips. There you go. Next up is the red onion. We peel it from the husk, then in half, and then into slices. Chili pepper, just small rings. Garlic, crush the head with your hand, and then peel the cloves. They also all need to be crushed. And then it's much easier to dice. Everything is ready. We put the frying pan on the stove, add some oil, and first fry out the chicken. We need to get a crust on the maximum heat. Now add in all vegetables to it. Fry them for a total of only 2 minutes. And then add in our noodles. Canned sugar, sprinkle the noodles with it, it'll add some sweetness. Teriyaki sauce, in Japanese cuisine it is used almost everywhere. Oyster sauce, literally just a tablespoon. And most importantly, the soy sauce. We did not salt anything on purpose because this is very, very salty. The last ingredient from the Japanese set is white wine. Open it up and pour it into the frying pan. All we have left to do is to mix and evaporate the liquid a little bit to make one single sauce. That's it, and there we go. The noodles are now ready. Let's put it into a box. This is the most traditional Japanese yakisoba with chicken. Let's try it. This is really delicious, but not like a wow. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. The next country is Korea. The most popular noodles there are called stir-fry. Here the set of products is already much richer. Let's start with the most expensive steak. We open up the premium ribeye. We remove the excess fat and cut the clean meat into slices. Put it into a bowl. Shiitake mushrooms. We're gonna need quite a bit. Cut those into slices. And put them into a bowl. Some garlic. Grate 1 clove on a fine grater. And into the meat. Sesame oil. Add a little bit for the marinade. Cane sugar. It is needed for the future caramelized crust. And soy sauce. Also to the meat. The last one is the chili pepper. Mix up the meat with some mushrooms and let them marinate. Now for the spinach. It needs to be blanched a little bit. We heat it in boiling water and cook for only 20 seconds. We also take off the strainer. To stop cooking, pour it in some cold water. Now we separate apart the spinach and to dump it into a bowl. To this, we will add 1 grated clove of garlic and some sesame oil and mix it up. Let the spinach soak up the flavors. Now we need 2 eggs. We break them into a bowl. We will only need the yolks. Using chopsticks, mix them until smooth. And then put them into a frying pan. After 20 seconds, turn them over. The egg yolk omelet is ready. Cut it in half, fold it, and cut it into strips. Put this into the bowl. Carrot. Here too, we just chop it into thin cubes, as for carrots in Korean. And we send them into the frying pan. They need to be fried for only 40 seconds so that they soften up a little bit, but they don't lose their crispness. Also into the bowl. Onion. Cut it in half and chop it into slices. Green onions. Cut them into small pieces. And into the frying pan. Add some salt. And also fry for 30 to 40 seconds so that the onion still remains crispy but is no longer bitter. Into the bowl. Some bell pepper. We chop it in the same way as the carrots. Into the frying pan. Also fry for only 40 seconds. And into the bowl. Some champignon mushrooms. We cut them into slices. And fry them up as well. Mushrooms are very porous, and so just look at how they shrink during heat treatment. It's like 1/8 of the size. That's it, the mushrooms are ready as well. Into the bowl. The shiitake meat has already been marinated, so we fry this as well. Overexposing marbled beef is simply a crime. Therefore, it'll take only about 50 seconds for the pieces to simply become encrusted. That should be enough. Into the bowl. Let's move on to the noodles. It is called daeman and is made from sweet potato starch. The very dish that we use our current layer cooking is painted on the packaging because Koreans traditionally use these noodles for their stir fries. Let's open it up. And it looks like really thick gray rice noodles. We send this into the cook for the saucepan. It cooks for quite a long time, as much as 7 minutes. So after the time is up, remove it from the stove and toss it into a colander. You also need to rinse it with cold water. And then we put this into the bowl. Put in some cane sugar, soy sauce, sesame oil, and finally, some sesame seeds. That's it. All we have to do now is knead the noodles with our hands. We take a Korean box and fill it up with our stir fry here. We're left with a very beautiful traditional Korean noodle dish. And the Koreans eat, as a rule, with iron sticks. Therefore, we're going to do exactly just that. Yeah, this is really delicious. I like this way more than the Japanese yakisoba. It's got like really slightly rubbery noodles imbued with a lot of different flavors. Just perfect, 10 out of 10. Let's move on to the final and most popular noodle dish in China called chow mein. There are fewer ingredients than in Korean noodles, but more than the Japanese ones. Let's start with some pork. Cut it first into slices, and then into smaller pieces. Into the bowl for the marinade culinary Chinese wine. Soy sauce, baking soda. This is an alkaline, and so it softens the meat very quickly. We will also add some black pepper. Mix all the ingredients together so that they evenly penetrate the meat. Now let's move on to the noodles. In China, egg noodles are considered the most common. So let's open it up. We'll need some briquettes. Let's boil them. So egg noodles cook really quickly, literally 3 minutes. They're ready. Some onions. Let's chop it into slices. Shiitake. We chop them up into slices. Bulgarian pepper. Cut them into strips. Some Peking Napa cabbage. Cut off the back and separate off a couple of leaves. We just cut it into lengthwise so that the long strips remain. Chili pepper. Dice them into rings. Ginger. Grate it directly into the chili. And then grate in a couple of garlic cloves. So let's start with the roasting pork. On the highest temp, bring it to a crust. Let's take it off. Now add some oil to a clean frying pan. Fry up the onion. After 10 seconds, add some garlic, ginger, and chili, bell peppers, mushrooms, and cabbage. And all this is fried up a little bit more. At the end, cut off some green onions with scissors directly into the pan. And mix it all up. The main sauce here is oyster sauce. Therefore, add it into a bowl. Add the same amount of water. And mix it up. That's it. Pour the diluted oyster sauce into the wok. And here are some egg noodles. Then top it with pork. And now you just need to mix it up really well. All right, our Chinese noodles are completely ready. We can put this into the box now. Add the meat and vegetables. And our traditional Chinese chow mein is served. Let's try it. Here we've got a distinct Chinese and ginger garlic flavor. There's only one oyster sauce in here, and it's just perfect. I'm going to give these noodles a 9 out of 10. After all, for me, the most delicious noodles from these 3 countries turned out to be Korean. Their stir fry is simply divine. Write in the comments what other countries and dishes you would like me to make a similar video with. And be sure to like this video if you would like me to continue this format. Bye, everybody!